Okay, so now I want to look at the Solana chart. And the first thing that comes to mind when I look at this is do not get attached to your altcoins or just cryptos in general. Don't get too attached because look what can happen here. The top was over $250 and we came all the way down to set at about $8, almost a 97% loss. So guys, take these cycles seriously, and when you feel that we're entering a bear market, you want to pretty much exit the majority of your positions because you're gonna lose it. I made another video. I'll link to it below, but it's basically going over tips for beginners, and one of the most important things is do not get emotionally attached to your coins, right? Because this happens to pretty much all the coins except for maybe Ethereum and Bitcoin, which only drop around 70 to 80%. But anyway, looking at this, it looks pretty good. It looks like we have found our bottom. As you see, we came down, had a capitulation event, and now we're making a higher low. And as soon as we lock in a higher high, that's a change in the trend direction. And I think we're good to go for the next cycle. Now, I would not get too excited until we break this downtrending resistance line here. So you can mark this on your chart. If we break this and close, I'd say even a daily candle above it, ideally a weekly candle above this, then you can start looking at more long-term swing trade positions. Now, hold on, let me grab. If you want to, if this ends up breaking down here, if you want a support region, you can look for, here would probably be the safest bet if you're trading. Yeah, I would actually, in this case, I would draw the wicks just to look for a support, because if I draw, so many times I've drawn the body area and then you have these wicks that can come down and liquidate you. So draw from wick to wick in this instance, because you're going to want to know where to put a stop loss. So if the price rejects off here and comes back down, what you could do is you can enter a trade and just put your stop below this trend line. Okay, so another reason why I think that we may have found a bottom, if I zoom out to the monthly, you see this huge bullish engulfing candle, and then you see this long wick. Okay, so that indicates a lot of buying pressure at a particular level. And when I'm wondering what level that is, well, I'll go to the Fibonacci and I'll run a fib retracement from the bottom to the top here of this move. And you'll see this buying pressure came in right as we approached the golden zone here on the Fibonacci, which kind of indicates to me that this is the first phase in the new move up, and then this is just the retracement, and now we're heading up again. Okay, so again, the most important thing if you're looking and getting in this for a long-term play would be if we break this line. I'll mark it out once again just so we can get actual price targets here. Weekly chart, let's draw just down. So the price here at this trend line, you can also set an alert on TradingView if you want to be notified if we break this. But if we start closing a candle above this previous high here and above this downtrending resistance line at around 22, just under $23, then I would start getting more excited on the long term. But overall, I do think this looks really good. Now, let me check the other chart here that I have. So on this, I use a different set of indicators, and the first thing I want to look at is it's called price action concepts, and it basically marks out significant regions on the chart where a lot of transactions have occurred. They're called order blocks. So if I put this on, so I'm on the weekly chart. So main significant levels would be, we're approaching an order block region right now, but I would look more towards the top of this for a significant resistance level, which would be around $25.96. Above that, anywhere from $48 down to $39, so this range here. And then if we're able to break above these, which I think we will in the coming 6 months or so, then we reach this upper region, 107 up to 140, this range here. And when you're dealing with a big range, if you're going to take profits, do it in batches, right? So maybe set like 3 or 4 different take profit regions around here. And if you want to enter a position up here for a short, again, do it in batches and then place your stop loss above. Okay, so let's now what about the short term? Let's take a look at the short term and see if there's any opportunities to either get in on a long or look for a short. So as I mentioned in pretty much every one of these videos, I tend to mark out the previous day high and the previous day low because they act as a range of support and resistance. Now we've broken out of this range. So if it comes back, I can look to this previous day high as a potential level of support. But even before that, though, on the 4-hour here, you see this range we broke out. Let's go to the horizontal trend line, but you can see it's marked on my chart as a change of structure. So that denotes a change in the trend, and that's right here. So if the price comes back, you see it was a resistance level here, resistance here, resistance here. So if the price comes back to this level, I would probably look to get in on a long, and that's just around $19.99 or so, around $20. You can look to long from here with a stop just below, and then you can target this upper region. So my first take profit would be around $20.65, which is this previous swing high here. But ultimately, I think if we're able to successfully retest this range, then my target that I'll be looking for is around here at around $22. Now, if I do, let's do a projection just to see how that would look. Say if we entered here, we put the stop just below, and then we targeted the early part of this order block. That's an incredible risk to reward ratio of about 6 to 1, or 1 to 6, however you want to say it. So I would risk 1.4% to get a 9% gain, 9.2% gain, which is really good. If I wanted to be more conservative, even if I did this, if I put my stop loss below the previous day high, it's still 2 to 1 risk reward ratio. I would risk 4% to get 9%. So on a short-term time frame, well, relatively, I mean, it's more of a swing trade. It's a 4-hour, but that is a good trade setup that you can look for. Let's look at the daily here. No, not daily, sorry, 1 hour. Sorry, this is the first time I'm looking at these shorter time frames, so bear with me for a second. I want to see what's going on. Let's switch my my indicator here. Okay. So I mentioned this pretty much every video I do just for the newcomers, but this indicator I'm using here, it's a smart trail as part of a larger indicator bundle that I use, and I'll link to that in the pinned comment. But you'll see that it shows it's a trend indicator, and it's also a dynamic support and resistance. So when we're below this red, it denotes that we're in a downtrend, and when we're above the blue, we're in an uptrend. And oftentimes, when the price comes up to it, like I said, it's a dynamic support and resistance. So if we approach it from below, the red smart trail from below, oftentimes it acts as a resistance. And you'll see an example of that here. We came up to it and we got rejected. So oftentimes what I'll do, assuming like other criteria is met, I will try to enter as we approach the resistance. I'll place my stop loss just above, and then I'll just trail my stop down as we go. In this one, I would probably exit the trade right here. But I mean, since it's a daily time frame, you can see just how massive and how profitable these trade setups can be. I would risk 1.56%, target the bottom of this range here for 45%. Risk to reward ratio of almost 30 to 1. So, I mean, this is a great indicator, guys. Again, we came up to it, we got rejected. You could short all of these. And actually, now that I just noticed this, I have an outline of a strategy on this channel, and I'll put a link to that below as well. But this setup met all of my criteria. This oscillator, it's a stochastic oscillator. We came up to an oversold region, we flipped red, and then that occurred at the same time that we were facing resistance from this smart trail here. So this would have been an amazing setup for you. So again, rejected. But now, okay, so now what's going on is we are approaching this resistance level around $21. So, I mean, if you have these indicators, you can look towards a flip of this as a very, very bullish sign. But yeah, 21. And I think that actually lines up with the recommendation I just gave on the 4 hour as a take profit target. So let's see, 21.45. Let's go back to I think it was the 4 hour, wasn't it? Let's see. Okay, so I said buy, you could potentially, actually, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving ideas. This is not financial advice. If you entered here at around 19, target this up around the 21. So I would take profits just before this order block. What's likely to happen if it comes up here is a wick and then maybe a rejection down because the higher time frame we are just below. Like I said, we are just below this resistance here at 21.38. So think of it as a range. This is why it's always good to look at the higher time frames first, so you don't go long and you're not aware to a massive resistance that's just overhead. But anyway, 21.45 on here. So let's see what kind of risk reward we're dealing with if we do that. I'm not sure if I already did this, but yeah. So shorter term, this is the trade I would look for, and I would take profits because we have a massive resistance overhead. I would look to take profits just around here. It's still a favorable risk to reward ratio, I believe. Okay, so to sum it up, guys, Solana looks good. I think we have bottomed. And now it's just the waiting game here, basically, to see if we're able to break out of this. I'll draw it one more time here. Break out of this region. Okay. So longer term, we need to break this. We need to break this level and close above. The level you want to look to is $22.80. Closing weekly candles above here, and I think we're off to the races. Obviously, like I said, on the other chart, the order block regions, there's one up here, there's one here. Basically, these pivot points here. So if we're able to break this, you can look to take profits here. You can look to take profits here. You can look to take profits right here. And then if we break this, it's pretty much open air from here up to this lower region here at $77. And then, of course, up here will be a major region here. So if you see the price come up to here, let's see what that price is exactly. Horizontal line, draw the body. You can mark this level on a chart as a very significant level. It's around $140 or so. If you want to look to that to enter a short with a tight stop loss, that will also be a great opportunity. But that's not going to happen for quite a while, guys. We're only $20 now. That's around 140. I imagine we'll probably get back up there to maybe the start of 2024 anyway, if that. Anyway, guys, so that's Solana. If you haven't subscribed, maybe do that if you want to get notified when I put these videos out. I'll probably do about 3 of these TA videos every day if you want to stay informed. So subscribe if you haven't already, and like the video if you found this helpful, and have a good day. Take care. Bye.